So we've got the world freaking out about this virus from China. Meanwhile, with the world distracted, China is exploiting this to crush the freedoms of Hong Kong, the former British colony that's now has got its tentacles into. It has just arrested Jimmy Lai. He's the Hong Kong newspaper owner and publisher and democracy activist for allegedly breaking China's new national security law. And dozens of police have raided Lai's newspaper. Look at that, clearly out to intimidate people. Now, it was only a couple of months ago that I warned Jimmy Lai this would happen, but he was never going to crawl to China's dictatorship. Do you feel in danger from China?
Well, I may be in danger, but I never think about danger, because if I'm afraid and think about the consequences, what I do and what I say, I would not be able to do anything. So, I just don't think about the consequences. I just don't think about fear. I just go on to do what is right.
We'll be lighting a candle for you if this goes on much longer. All the best. I'd say, be careful, but being careful won't do anything. I think just keep fighting.
It's to be brave, not careful.
Well, I'm going to honour my promise to Jimmy Lai, and I will keep bringing up this case to remind you of what China is really like. Joining me, Michael Costa, former Victorian Liberal President, and Michael Costa, former New South Wales Labor Treasurer. Michael Costa, how serious is this?
Well, this is very serious, Andrew, but let's not be under any illusion here. I think Hong Kong as an independent political entity is over. It's a matter of time before it's fully integrated into mainland Chinese authoritarian structures, in breach of all international treaties that China has had. However, I've got to say, I think this is going to be a short-term victory for China. I mean, as you can see across the globe, everybody is now very aware of the Chinese menace, even in the South Pacific and, in the South China Sea and across regional Asia. You already see alliances forming against this Chinese expansionism. So, look, it's very serious. It's tragic, but I think it may prove, the undoing of the sort of imperialist strategy that the Chinese Communist Party is pursuing.
What do you think? By the way, I'm running out of time. Left us a bit short. Michael Costa, what's going on with the Liberals? You've got Treasurer Josh Frydenberg now demanding answers from the Victorian government on how it let this virus get out of its quarantine hotels. But on the other hand, you've got the Prime Minister saying nothing. You've got former New South Wales Premier Mike Baird, Liberal, saying now is not the time to second-guess the Victorian government or to finger point. And you've got the Victorian Liberal President, your successor, Robert Clark, saying, yes, the Liberals should be constructive. You got the state of Victoria being smashed in front of our eyes and senior Liberals saying, oh, you've got to be constructive. What's going on?
Well, I must say I agree with Josh Frydenberg and Michael Costa and Alan Tudge and the team, and Michael O'Brien and Tim Smith, who have been very critical of the Andrews government, and that's the job of the opposition. And the Prime Minister's got to work with these premiers, but it is the job of the opposition, whether it's the opposition here or Albanese, to hold the government to account, and that's what they're doing. And by the way, Andrew, back on China, I mean, terrible for Jimmy Lai, terrible for the people of Hong Kong, but thank goodness our university funding is safe. We're still getting Communist Party funding down here, and the Belt and Road Initiative in Victoria, the agreement between the Andrews government and the Communist Party in China, terrible for Hong Kong, but we've still got the agreement down here, so it's all good.
Isn't that really the way, Michael Costa, don't worry about the big principles, look at all the money we're getting?
Well, I think that's wearing thin as everybody around the globe reacts to, the beginnings of it being the sort of COVID cover-up, but also this expansionism. I think the Chinese have, made some significant strategic errors with their moves in recent times. And, I think in the short term, they might have a victory, as I said, in Hong Kong, but I'm more optimistic for the medium term. People are now wise to them. I mean, we've got African countries rejecting the very initiatives that it appears the Victorian government has decided to accept because they're very wary of the Chinese.
All right, I'm so short of time, but you distracted me, Michael Costa. Is this the right way to fight the virus?
In Victoria, no. They've been incredibly slow and they've made a lot of mistakes here. But no, I mean, what the governments have to do, Andrew, is work out how we're going to live with this virus. We can't work on the basis that there's some kind of vaccine, because it may never come. So what we need from the governments is a master plan. Low level of transmission is going to continue. How are we going to deal with that? Because business needs to know, they need some idea going forward. At the minute, we've got absolutely nothing from any government in the country about what the future looks like 1, 2 and 3 years down the track.
I think you're right. Gentlemen, I'm so sorry I've left you so short of time. I'll make it up to you next time. Thank you both, Michael.
Cheers,
Crackdown
Andrew.
and Michael Costa.
Andrew.